So this is sort of like energy and consciousness. So if I heal, I become brighter. So then the soil or energy around me becomes brighter, and then this influences others.
Yeah. Hello, Earth Managers. Welcome to EMTV. My name is Courtney, and I'm here with Danielle Gaudette, who just published her first book. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's called Healing Tree, an adoptee story about hurting, healing, and letting the light shine through.
Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, so it's very exciting for me to share my own healing story in my memoir. I talk a little bit about my childhood, about growing up as an adoptee, and then I go into reuniting with my biological mother, which was a really huge thing for me. Meeting with the woman who birthed me and then gave me up for adoption opened me up to a certain kind of pain and wound that I had inside. And I just sort of went into a lot of mental and psychological duress. I talk about what I have been able to learn about myself since then. Part two is the tools as well as how I integrated those tools with personal stories and experiences with different relationships in my life, including my biological mother.
In the book, she also talks about a desire to help people from a very young age, and then as she grew older, it kind of expanded. And this concept really fascinates me when it comes to earth management. So I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So my adoptive mother, who raised me, suffered with mental illness. It was really a very acute anxiety and depression. So I really had a desire to help her. Of course, I had my own suffering, but I was really acutely, and I'm sure other people who are sensitive and understand this empathizing that happens, I could just feel other people suffering. I so wanted them to not have to suffer. And even though I suffered too, I had this innate feeling that we have the right to feel peace, that it's possible for us, and we deserve to be happy and to love ourselves and to not be in this dark mental space. And I wanted that for the world.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you also mentioned this concept or a Korean philosophy, hongik, and something about a critical mass. So can you tell us a little about that too?
Hongik simply translates into widely benefiting, which means basically really understanding and feeling the concept that other people's well-being is my well-being and my well-being is other people's well-being. Therefore, when I do things that are healing and beneficial for myself, that helps others. And when I do things that are healing and beneficial for others, that's also good for me. So you asked about critical mass. It's kind of like if there's a garden and the soil is toxic or poisoned, it's very hard for the flowers to grow. But if one flower can make it through that rocky kind of toxic soil and sprout, then the soil around that flower will become more healthy soil.
Wow.
So this is sort of like energy and consciousness. So if I heal, I become brighter. So then the soil or energy around me becomes brighter, and then this influences others. So if 2 of us are doing it, it's wider, and 3 and 5 and 10 cities, towns, organizations, countries of people are doing it. We're making a healthier soil or a healthier consciousness. And this is the critical mass. Then when that reaches enough, there will be like a jump where it doesn't have to just be one person healing themselves and helping another, but just sort of collectively there's a different vibration.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah, that was probably the most hopeful thing that I stumbled upon. Not just as good information, but I really felt that intuitively, like that's real and that's right and that's possible, and I want to be part of that.
Yeah. What would you say earth management means to you?
I hear the word management, right? How could we possibly manage the earth? But I think about how the things I have to do to manage myself. What I have to do to take care of myself, how much I need to be aware of my own self, what I eat, how I exercise, even what I say and what I think, and then how that also affects my body, right? I need to know about all of that in order to manage myself. So I think earth management is human beings understanding their role in taking care of the earth in the same way and doing it with a sort of ownership, right? When you manage something, you put your arms around it. You care for it. These are the people I have to manage in my job, or this is how I manage my health. This is how I manage my emotions.
If there was a message you wanted to give to our audience, what would that be?
I would just say that every person living on the planet right now is so important and so precious. It's time for us to really realize our impact, the effect of our own consciousness. So you are so important, how you take care of yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit, your own light, how you shine it, the choices you make, the actions you do are really important as part of this critical mass. So I hope everybody knows that and everybody will remember that as you are making choices in your life.
All right, I second that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. And of course, I will leave a link for Danielle's book down below. So please grab a copy of that and enjoy hearing about her story, but also finding some tools that might help you along your healing journey too.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.